Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you guys can hear me over the music. Thank you so much for waiting, guys. Thank you so much. Alright, so, oh, look at that. The viewership just jumped. Seems like people are knowing that I'm live now. Awesome, awesome. So, yeah, so let's go ahead and start with the overall markets. Minor, oh wow, you guys are already giving me names to look at. Awesome, awesome. And even, wow, 6 likes already. Wow. Right before we start, before we even started, 6 likes. We can get to 10 likes already. Nice. Okay, so yeah, so Minor and Andrew, I will go over Amazon and XOM. And oh, Andrew, if you have been in the CFO Stream Watch newsletter and Discord, you would see that I've done XOM for everyone earlier today, and I believe 2 weeks ago as well. So you might have known how to play XOM 2 weeks ago. But okay, so with SPY here, actually not with SPY. Let's go over futures right now. Okay, futures. So futures is actually pretty interesting because we're actually holding, you know, the lows here from last week. We haven't even reached the breakout point. Let's see. And Andrew, you said thanks for going live. You're welcome. You're welcome. No, never mind. No, I'm still gonna go over XOM. I'm still gonna go over XOM. No worries. No worries. So futures here. You know, I find it interesting that even with Walmart's earnings, I mean, I wasn't going to expect Walmart earnings to be, you know, the big driving force that will break down the markets overnight, right? Sure, we did open up with the gap down and futures started to fall down as well, but we found support again around that 3,950 level. And we're right back to that 3,960 to 3,965 range, like I have been telling you guys for SPY futures since last week. And I think SPY futures here will continue to consolidate as we have a very, very monumental week ahead of us. And one thing that I really want you guys to kind of look out for is consolidation that we saw back in late May and early June. Why? Because, well, this was also a monumental few weeks, right? And as we start to consolidate, right, it seems like we're forming a nice flag, right? But we had this very, very violent day-to-day volatility where we gapped down hard or we gapped up hard, and there was just back and forth for multiple days until CPI data came out and we absolutely flushed, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we have such type of movement again this entire week, and possibly maybe even with FOMC meetings and you know, the conference and GDP data and other important economic data that's coming out for the rest of this week, like PCE. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the late reaction to all of this data comes next week as well. But I'm not going to expect that. There's a higher probability of us actually making a big move to one side or either side, to the upside or to the downside, from all these catalysts that we have for this week. So for SPY futures, like I said, you know, the only thing that I'm really worried about is consolidation like this. But since we have such a big week with tech earnings as well, I expect a larger movement to either side. Okay, I'm just telling you guys that there's that risk of consolidation where premiums on both calls and puts get completely dumped, right? So the premiums get killed and we get the larger move next week, right? So that's the bigger risk that we have that we need to be thinking about, okay? So with that, let's go over SPY now. So SPY, we retested that 396 bottom range between this 396 to 400 range that we've been talking about for the last week, right? Week and a half. And last Friday, we retested that 400 level really perfectly, right? 400.18 cents was the high of last Friday. And the play was there, right? I mean, once we retested that 400 in, you know, basically in a month, right? We haven't retested $400 in a month or so. And after our first time retesting it, it was obvious that we were rejected, right? So, you know, last Friday, if you guys have been listening to me on the lives, or if you're in the CFA Discord, you guys are especially for the people who are already in the CFA Discord, you guys should know that I said that retest of 400 will be a rejection to the downside, right? Most likely. And there's a lesser probability of us seeing a continuation to the upside, because a lot of people were saying, you know, can we hit 404? Can we hit 405? Can we hit 403? But I denied that could happen. Okay, so with that in mind, right, I expect us to see a considerable amount of volatility within this 396 level to 400. Right, I'm gonna see a lot of ups and downs between these this range, right? And you know, so far we're respecting the 396 level as resistance once more. I mean, you know, if we continue to get compressed by this level, I expect us to move lower again, right? I expect us to have a nice move lower. And also, you know, we're at the top of this range here, right? Of this descending macro channel here, right? If you go on the weekly time frame, so if you pull back here, if we go further out on the time frames, we're right back inside this descending level of resistance, which is a part of the macro descending channel, right? So, you know, with these prices just basically consolidating at this resistance level, the longer we stay at this resistance level, the more of a probability we can have to reject it completely, right? So the overall sentiment right now, starting this week, has been outright bearish. So it would be pretty, you know, pretty crazy to see any type of really big upside movement unless we get some really good economic data, which I don't think is going to happen, especially if you guys have read the CFA Swing Watch newsletter, and I give you guys a great, deep reason why I think that. But, you know, anything can happen, right? My entire thesis for this week can be completely negated by this week's price action, right? And I'm ready to acknowledge that as well. So, you know, make sure you guys are always assessing your risks, and make sure that you guys remember that, you know, one thesis will never be 100% correct in the stock market, all right? Even if I have the most experience, maybe let's say I have the most experience out of anyone, right? Maybe I have 50 years of stock market experience. I will never always be right, even after 50 years, right? So, you know, just never think that, you know, if anyone says that my strategy or my thesis is 100% correct, if anyone says that to you, okay, that's completely bullshit, right? In the stock market, you can never be 100% right, and I'm honest to admit that. I mean, I that's the honest truth, right? You can't say that you're 100% correct on your thesis and your analysis and on your trades, right? That's not possible. All right, so with that in mind, let's go over Walmart, right? So what does Walmart's earnings mean, right? Well, what does it mean here? So Walmart lowered its guidance, and if you guys seen on my in my Instagram story, I explained that you know, Walmart is basically confirmed what I've been saying for the last few weeks. Okay, and can anyone think what I've been saying for the last few weeks? Does anyone remember? If not, that's fine. But to kind of get things moving, I would say that Walmart, okay, Walmart has lower guidance, right? And if Walmart had lower guidance, okay, that's basically telling us that middle class to lower class income people, right, are not using money to buy things at a discount store like Walmart, right? Because Walmart is basically known to have cheap products, right? Everyone knows that, right? I sometimes go to Walmart to get cheap stuff, because why not, right? Because you have to be saving money at a time like this, right? And even millionaires, if you guys didn't know, millionaires and multimillionaires, right? The way that they save money, essentially, is they use a lot of discounts and coupons, if you guys didn't know. Okay, I know a couple, and and you know, they save a lot. They're very, very frugal people. I'm also a frugal person, right? And if people aren't spending at places like Walmart, right? If Walmart is actually having trouble with inflation and decline of demand from its actual demographic of its consumers, right? The majority of the demographic of the consumers, which is middle class and lower income class, well, that's telling you a warning sign that the economy is truly regressing, right? It's truly pulling back. And that's what everyone has been fearing. And that's what I've been looking out for. And if you guys have been in the CFO Swing Watch since last week or even the weeks before that, I've been saying that people, once they stop using the money that they have in their savings account, and if you guys were in the CFO Swing Watch or if you guys are members, you guys should already know why that's important. Okay, when people are truly starting to stop using their money from their savings accounts, and most people have been tapping in to their savings account that they've made since 2020, okay, since the market crash, and they've been using that money in their savings account to buy the things that they want and need. And once they truly stop doing that, that's going to be a huge problem with the economy, because I think that overall, consumers, the only reason why consumers have been providing such good and stable, well, quote unquote stable economy, and for the fact that we are not officially in a recession yet, is that they've been spending, right? Consumers have been spending on products made by corporations and businesses, right? They've been paying for the services and products by these big corporations and businesses, and they've been able to do that because they've been tapping into their savings accounts. And once that stops, right, you have lower transactions, right? There's low transaction volume, and it slows down basically the supply and demand market, right? And with lower demand, with huge supply, okay, you tend to get just an absolute disaster in the economy, because that starts a domino effect, okay? And I extensively went over this, the supply and demand issue and etc. on the housing market as well, last week and this week as well in the newsletter. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure you guys join tonight. But I truly think that what Walmart has said today after hours in their earnings report and call, it doesn't look too good, right? And if you guys didn't know, Walmart has been automatically resupplying their stock, right? There's automatic, loads of new supply that they've been getting, and I think that's been creating a facade of a data, right? That the economy is strong just because that we are seeing a lot of more supply. But in fact, we know that demand has been dwindling, and Walmart is basically said that right in front of our faces, that they're going to have trouble with inflation, higher inflation, and dwindling demand. So, with a discount retail store like Walmart suffering, that's concerning, right? And what's going to be even more concerning is if Dollar Tree, right, stores like Dollar Tree or 99-cent stores start to say that, oh my God, we're also seeing this pressure, okay? That's going to be the absolute tipping point for kind of the consumer demand, okay? And that can clearly tell us that the consumer demand has been completely vanished, right, from the last 2 years. Right, so this is what we call demand destruction, and I think it's a great warning sign for the fact that Walmart has lowered their guidance, and I think for the short term at least, we're going to see some more sell-off in the overall markets, which is essentially what I wanted. To be honest, if you guys didn't know, I have a long-term bearish overview and outlook on the markets, and if you guys haven't looked at my video of why I think the market is going to crash, you guys should take a look at that video. I posted that 2 months ago, I believe. Let me leave the link here for you guys if you guys haven't looked at it, because you guys really should. Okay, and I've been right so far with everything that's been happening ever since that video has been released, as usual. Now, I'm not trying to brag, but hey, I gotta give props to what I do and what I share, right? So why not? But let me get that link here for you all. Okay, so here is the video. Okay, let me actually pin it as well. There we go. Alright. There we go. And bam. Okay, so there's that link. I'm going to pin it if you guys want to watch it later. Okay, so make sure you guys watch that. It's about like almost 30 minutes, right? It's like 29 minutes. So it's worth the watch. It's worth the watch because if you guys take a look at some of the charts that I give you, and if you guys look where the charts are now, right? You know, we've been crashing. So take a look at that. So yeah, I mean, Walmart, things look bleak. Amazon started going down after hours as well, right? Target especially went down, and any other retail name that's involved in the, you know, that's involved with dependency on consumer demand absolutely fell off after hours. So let's see how you know, Target reacts and what Target reports in the next earnings in August, in mid-August. Okay, so that's basically what I think. All right. If you guys have any questions on what else I think about Walmart, please ask me. But if not, let's go over some of the names that you guys have given me. So Amazon, right? So Amazon, if you guys have been following me since last week on Amazon, you guys already know that Amazon was a great swing play to the long side for last week's newsletter. There's a great entry at 116.10, and we absolutely broke out and moved to the upside, eventually hitting that 126 level of resistance that I've been grinding. Right, I've been telling you guys that this 126 level resistance is going to lead us to rejection. And guess what? On Friday, we did that, right? We were so close, right? The high of Friday was 125.50. And if you round that up, that's 126, right? So roughly around 126 is where we rejected. Hey, Dion, what's up? We're talking about your favorite, Amazon. So, you know, I think Amazon, since after hours, I believe it's around $117 if I'm not mistaken, and that's right back down to that previous level of resistance, that resistance area, if I could say here, between 116 and 117. So, you know, if we do get a bounce tomorrow, that'd be great because if the price gaps down, we'll most likely be able to retest the 10 SMA so that we can use it as support. Okay, so this is all going to depend on whether or not the economic data that comes out tomorrow is going to be bullish, which I don't think it will. But overall, you know, with earnings coming out and with tech earnings coming out soon, I'm hoping for a run up for tech into earnings, especially Amazon, Google, Apple, and I think Meta, right? Yeah, so Facebook, right? Meta platforms. So, you know, for Amazon as well, I expect a bounce tomorrow at the 10 SMA here, which is sitting around 116.67, right? So if you round it up, that's around $117. So it'll be great if you can see that nice bounce, right? So hopefully that makes sense, miner. Yeah, so I think we're gonna have a little tiny gap down tomorrow. Not a big gap down because Walmart is not a heavyweight name in the overall markets. They're not gonna move the markets that much. But if you guys wonder why Snap moved the markets lower, well, because Snap dragged down the heavy hitters in the tech sector and the social media companies, right, like Meta. So, you know, that's the reason why it caused that domino effect among the other big tech names. That's what Snap did last week. I already talked about it in my live on Thursday. So if you guys want to take a look at that, go ahead and look. But yeah, that's what I think for Amazon. Andrew, if you're still here, Andres. XOM. So I went over this for my CFO Stream Watch members here, and XOM here. So right now, energy is going to have a nice bounce for the next couple, maybe 2 weeks, but especially XOM. There's a lot of commodity names that have been having earnings, and they've actually been having a pretty positive reaction to earnings. So I would expect XOM, since it has earnings next week, okay? Actually not next week, it's on Friday, pre-market, you know, I would at least expect XOM to move up, okay, move up pre-earnings, right? So right before earnings, I expect it to move up, right? Hey, thank you guys for 8 likes. Wow, 2 more likes and we got 10. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, so with the XOM here, you know, great higher highs from last week. We already went above the previous high from last week, and the 10 and 21 SMAs are now curling upwards as it starts to support the price higher. So if this happens, okay, then we can get a reclaim. Okay, let me actually get this out here out the way so you guys can see the 50 SMA in the daily time frame. We might be able to remount and reclaim this 50 SMA right before earnings, right? And that also happens to match up with this range that I currently have. And what is this range? Well, to answer your question, if you guys take a look at the high of the day today, right? Look at where we rejected from. Look at this little tiny wick that we rejected. It was 90.13. So that means that 90 level here is the start of this very, very large range that we have between 90 and 93.50. Right? And hey, Bueller, what's up, what's up, what's up? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Guys, if you didn't know, Bueller is a great trader friend of mine. I've known him for years. And he's been a great support of mine as well. So if you guys aren't subscribed to his channel, make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. He has some very, very good videos on his channel that you guys might want to look at, especially if you guys enjoy spreading your book of knowledge in your head, right? If you want more knowledge, okay, about the trading world, right? Bueller has some very good videos. Okay, so make sure you guys check that out. But yeah, hey, thank you, man. Thank you for coming in. But yeah, guys, if you guys can get to 10 likes, right? 10 likes. Make sure you guys are sharing this with your friends or family whenever we're on live. But if you can get to 10 likes tonight, that'll be amazing, right? Remember that 10 likes is the minimum for each live stream, and we surpassed that last week. So thank you guys so much. We doubled that, I believe. We more than doubled the likes on Thursday's live stream from last week. So thank you guys so much. I didn't get a chance to thank you guys for sharing the stream and etc. So thank you guys so much. But yeah, so XOM here, right? $90 to 93.50. Absolutely amazing range here. It's where the heavy sellers are at. How do we know? Well, just take a look at the previous area here, right? In mid-June, we saw a lot of sales coming in around the 93 to 93.50 range area, and we came back down and tried to use 90 as support like we did here and like we did here, but we ultimately failed and we moved lower. So we know that sellers are very strong in this area. Okay, so hopefully we can see some type of sort of a short squeeze. So we, obviously we're not going to see like a huge impulse move higher, but at the very least we can slowly start seeing some shorts that have been shorting or have short positions since in this area to start covering and closing out their positions, right? And once we see that, we're going to see a continuous push to the upside, and ultimately and hopefully we can overcome the compression of the daily 50 SMA and ultimately break out higher back to the 93.50 range right before earnings. Or maybe we can see a reclaim with that 50 SMA after earnings. So obviously we might see that on an earnings reaction. Okay, so Andrew, that's what I think for XOM. Okay, Dion, let me go over Morgan Stanley. Yeah, so interesting thing, first of all, about financial names is that they've been seeing a huge outflow of money, right? And it's not just retail money, it's been institutional money that's been getting out. And that's, I kind of find that interesting because I'm wondering why they're getting out, right? A lot. And, obviously, banks have been seeing some good profits as interest rates has been rising, and you guys should know what's been happening, right? Hey, Andrew, you're welcome. You're welcome. Stick around for more, man. Don't leave yet. You might want to see some tickers that I have for you all. But so MS here, Morgan Stanley. It's in this range, right? But that thing is kind of bugging me, right? The fact that institutional money has been leaving, the financial sector overall for the past few months, and I believe that it totals around a couple billion. So, I think financial names can have a good run for like little tiny pity bounce at least, but that outflow of money is concerning for the long term, right? And obviously it's going to be great for a long-term bearish stance on the overall markets, right? But you know, I want to see some buying coming back in for more confidence for a longer term uptrend. And so far, you know, most financial names, if not all, have been seeing a big decline in price. So hopefully we can see some sort of a continuation of the bounce. But so far, Morgan Stanley here has been forming a pretty prevalent chart pattern that we've been seeing throughout the entire stock market, and it's this descending this macro descending channel, which is inherently a bullish chart pattern, right? So far, it looks exactly like the markets here, and it seems like we're consolidating right underneath this descending level resistance, and we're allowing the 10 and 21 SMAs to catch up as we're consolidating. So that's a good sign, right? It's a very bullish sign, but with the underlying macro economic pressures that we're seeing and the problems, okay, that's where our true risk comes in with this reversal, right? We don't know if we're going to see a continuation of this overall reversal to the upside. So we're going to have a lot of trouble trying to break out of this descending level of resistance on this macro descending channel, which should be around 83.50, or if you want a whole number, $84 should be a great breakout level to the upside. Okay, but remember, we have a very huge week this week, so if we have bearish action, I would expect Morgan Stanley to make another large rejection from this descending level of resistance and come back down to this descending level of support once more. Okay, Dion, so far, great bullish short-term price action, and on the SMAs, right? The 10 is starting to cross above the 50 as it tries to catch up to the price, and the price is actually consolidating as well to help with the 10 and 21 catch up. All right, so this is always a good sign to see for the bullish perspective. Did that make sense, Dion? I hope it did. All right, so that's it for what you guys have requested so far. Does anyone else have any chart requests? I can take as many as you guys want. Hey, Joe, I didn't even see your comment. You're killing it, Andrew. Hey, thank you very much. Thank you. Wait here. I know there is a slight delay between what I'm saying and what you guys type and what you guys send in the live chat. So let me just wait a few minutes. Dion, you said yes, makes sense. Thank you. Everything seems to be waiting on the news this week. Yeah, I mean, what a lame start to this week. But we usually don't get such a lame start, but with such a big week, the markets are really waiting on it in the major news like FOMC and GDP data. So hopefully we get some type of good action this week. Okay, so does anyone else have any more chart requests? I'm gonna wait one more minute. Guys, hopefully you guys can hear my voice. I was about to use my mic, but I didn't. But hopefully you guys can still hear my voice. I try to make my voice as booming as possible. Hey, we got one. Do nothing. What's up? What's up? What is up, man? Okay, yeah. So DLTR, I think last time I checked after hours, it was around 165.50. I think. Yeah. So I think DLTR. Yeah. So DLTR is down. Obviously, it's one of those discount stores like Walmart. Although it's a lot cheaper than Walmart, obviously. But you know, Dollar Tree has been really strong after breaking out multiple times. And if you guys didn't know, I had Dollar Tree for my CFO Swing Watch last year, right below 100, right? So this is one of those names that I wasn't able to get with equity since it went off without me, which I really, really wish I had. But that's fine. You know, Dollar Tree, if you take a look at the weekly time frame, ooh, I mean, what a strong chart, right? After, you know, years and years of consolidation, more than 5 years here, we've been just absolutely ripping after the 2020 crash. And then even after that large downturn in 2021, we saw a huge move higher as inflation started hitting, which meant people will start, you know, going to these discount stores a lot more. And I actually went to Dollar Tree yesterday to kind of see and gauge what's going on with consumer-wise and consumer demand. And wow, there's a lot of people there, right? So I was like, huh, interesting. And obviously I don't want to go with empty-handed, so I bought some snacks. I bought some cheap snacks there for myself to eat. And there's a lot of people there, right? So it kind of tells you that people are still going to these very even cheaper stores compared to Walmart. So it makes you kind of think that maybe people who have been shopping in Walmart and people who are now starting to lean off of Walmart because things have also gotten a little bit too expensive for them at Walmart may start to go back to Dollar Tree or maybe even come to Dollar Tree to rely on their grocery shopping or stuff like that. Because if you guys didn't know, Dollar Tree also has groceries. I believe they rolled that out a few years back. But yeah, I mean, their stuff is cheap, right? So people will try to stick to Dollar Tree and 99-cent stores for all their needs, especially at a time like now, which is the reason why Dollar Tree and 99-cent stores are very, very, or even Dollar General, right? DG, okay? Those are recession-proof stocks. People will always go to these dollar stores or discount stores that are very, very cheap. So obviously that's the reason why we saw that, you know, after hours reaction to the downside, because Walmart, which is also a discount store and also a recession-proof name or considered a recession-proof name, has such bad earnings and bad guidance, right? People were surprised. So who knows what Dollar Tree and Dollar General can report in the next few months. Next few weeks actually when they report earnings. So far Dollar Tree, I don't see anything wrong with it. We had a nice breakout again after this decent level of resistance, which I also showed you guys a month back before, if you guys remember. And we had a nice big breakout and continuation of that longer term breakout, and we're starting to pull back. And I actually like this pullback because we rejected before we hit a new all-time high. So we had a new all-time high at 177.19. We weren't able to come back and retest that $177 level. So with this lower high now, there's a possibility that we can continue to move to the downside as companies that are dependent on consumer demand get hit really hard for the next few months. So if we do get a really, really big pullback in Dollar Tree, right, and all the other industries and sectors that are related to Dollar Tree, we can see some nice big dips that we can potentially get in on for the future, because I think this recession can go on for a couple of months, right? So you know, that's basically what I think for the LTR. So do nothing. Do nothing. If you understood that, please let me know. Same here for thesis. Thank you, bro. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Awesome, awesome. All right, guys. Any more chart requests? Guys, we have 2 more likes left. 2 more. 2 more. Dos más. Dos más. can we get to 10 like? Oh, 9 like. Hey, Commander Sparky, that was you. What's up? What's up, my guy? So I'm waiting on some chart requests here. So if you can do the honors, Commander Sparky, if you have any chart requests, let me know. And yes, you made it. So good job for you for that dedication to come in. I'm hitting that 36-minute mark, so I'll most likely end this after an hour or so. But yeah, it's a chill night here. Oh, I have not done Tesla. Thank you. Yeah, so Tesla last week, what an amazing run. Absolutely amazing. I mean, the analysis was spot on. I mean, guys, if you guys were not in the CFS Stream watch, I mean, guys, you guys missed out on so much. And if you guys haven't looked at the Tesla video, oh, you guys missed out. You guys truly missed out. Here, let me give you guys the link again. Okay, you guys have to watch it because right after I uploaded the video and the very next day, Tesla moved exactly 10%. Okay, so let me share that link with you guys again and watch the entire video because it's very interesting. If you guys like Tesla and if you guys love trading Tesla and if you guys have investments on Tesla, watch this video. Okay, watch this video. You guys won't regret it. Okay, watch it. Right? So, anyways, Tesla moved 10% on earnings reaction on the day after earnings, which is exactly what I wanted to see, and that's what I said in the Tesla video. And so far, the uptrend is officially here for Tesla. Okay, I've said it, right? And Tesla's going to be providing a lot more strength compared to the overall markets. Why? Because it's broken out to the upside, right? And it's still holding the highs that it made from last week, right? So as long as we don't completely come back down and retrace all the gains that we made, including the gap that we made between Thursday and Friday, because remember, earnings was after hours on Thursday, and we got the reaction on on Friday morning. Wow, I got that completely wrong. Wednesday and Thursday. My apologies, right? So if we decide to completely erase all the gains that were made on Thursday and between the action that happened, then that allowed us to have a gap up between Wednesday and Thursday, right? Then I'll be changing my thesis and bias on Tesla to the downside, or I'll be bearish. But so far, there's nothing to be bearish about on Tesla, right? If you take a look at the 4-hour time frame, actually, let's even take a look at the 2-hour time frame, right? 2-hour time frame. Nice pullback with lower volume compared to the earnings volume, right? And so Tesla, I expect us to see higher lows being made and eventually a nice bull flag being made, or at least a micro pennant bull flag, right? So if you guys wondering what I mean, that type of flag, right? Where the price just comes back down and starts making this higher lows and lower highs, and eventually breaks out. Okay, so for Tesla here, like I said, if we make a nice pennant bull flag, we can see a nice potential breakout at that 820 level resistance. How did I know this? So if you take a look back, we reacted off of this level multiple times here, multiple times here, and right here, specifically right here. Okay, and right here as well. So if you can break out that 120 level of resistance, if we do make a nice consolidated pennant bull flag, then we'll see the continuation and second leg higher of this Tesla reversal so far. So where do I expect the bounce on Tesla? Okay, based off that tenant. Talking about like rental properties here. Jesus. For a bounce, I think we can see a bounce at 800, right? Since that $800 level is that significant psychological level that we broke out of, which allowed us to have a crazy day on earnings reaction day, right after earnings, right? And so if the buyers are still present at that $800 psychological level, which I think there is, just any buyers left, I would hope that they can hold this $800 level and kind of consolidate before bouncing up higher and creating a higher low, right? So ultimately, this is what I want to see, right? A nice ascending support trend line, and then ultimately from this point forward, right, there's the first point here, a nice descending level of resistance, right? So that we start making that pennant bull flag. Does that make sense? Right? So this is my Tesla prediction here, especially if it decides to continue to move inversely to the market and continue to have this buying momentum coming in, right? Like I said, the only risk is that we continue to pull back, and if we do fill in that gap between Wednesday and Thursday, okay, that's gonna be bearish, right? Because think about it, who made this gap to the upside? Who? Someone answer me that right now. Who made that? Who made that gap up? Come on, Sparky. Yes. Doing the thing. The buyers, boy. Yeah. yeah. The buyers, right? The buyers have made the gap up. So if you decide to pull back, then who are we taking out? And if you're starting to fill in the gap down, this gap up here to the downside, okay, we're taking out the buyers, and that means sellers are giving more leeway, and it's a gateway for sellers to come in to fill in the gap. So that's when it'll get a little bit more risky for Tesla to go to the long side, and we can flip to the downside trend, right? And that means the reversal has completely failed, right? But so far, like I said, on the intraday time frames, if we can bounce that $800 level tomorrow, then we're good. Did that make sense, guys? Right, and Commander Sparky, hopefully that makes sense. Oh, you already said yes. Okay, so that's what I expect for Tesla. All right, I expect continuous strength for Tesla for the next few trading days. And then Apple, ooh, Apple has earnings on Thursday after hours, so that's gonna be interesting. And the reason why I said it's interesting for me is that I think Apple. Hey, I just noticed 9 likes. Thank you guys. One more like and we get that 10 minimum amount of likes. Woo! Can we get to 10 likes, guys? Can we? Tonight, can we get it? Let's go. 10 likes for the people who are just coming in. All right, even if you haven't heard what I said, I know you guys are gonna like it. No, just joking. I'm not gonna brag, but you guys should already know. You guys should already know what I do here, guys. You guys should know. My analysis tends to come out to be perfect. Not 100%. Like I said, no one's ever 100%. But I tend to have a good edge over the markets because I have a good understanding of technical analysis and what these macro factors and catalysts do to certain tickers, right? So, hey, you know what? I'm just stating my experience here, right? Nothing else. And I know firsthand, personally, that I know my analysis does wonders for people and for myself. So, you know, just saying, just leaving that out there, you know, just leaving that out there in the breeze. I don't care if it goes unheard, but I'm just gonna be shouting that from the top of my lungs forever until I die. But you guys can listen to it or not, who knows? I don't care. And I don't care to be famous about it or not. I'm just here to give you guys some good, honest analysis. All right, so Apple here. Sorry about the tangent, but for Apple, well, the reason why I say that it's interesting because Apple is surprisingly doing pretty well. Okay, and this uptrend so far has been greater than SPY here. Right, if you take a look at SPY, right. SPY kind of consolidated first and then had a very micro breakout last week. But Apple has been reversing, right? It's been completely reversing. So if I make a trend line like this, right, from the downtrend here, okay, just a very messy trend line. Okay, I don't care to kind of make it perfect. But after this breakout back in early July, we just kept on going higher and higher and higher, making higher highs and higher lows, right? And if you guys didn't know, the stock market tends to move based on the future perception of the company, right? And this states that, potentially earnings can be very, very good. And this movement higher so far compared to the overall markets, especially SPY, right? Especially SPY, right? This movement higher can potentially be saying that, hey, we have priced in the great earnings that Apple can potentially have this week already. Right, for the past 2 weeks, right, two weeks and a half, the market has been saying that the Apple can potentially have some great earnings. So who knows? If we have some good earnings, the reaction can be bad. Why? Well, because we've already had that big movement higher, and that will confirm my thesis of saying that, well, this movement higher was already pricing in whatever earnings that's about to come this week. Does that make sense? Right? So that could also be another confirmation, and the reason why, like Commander, you just said it, Apple is holding SPY up, right? And Apple's the only one that's been very, very strong out of the other big tech growth names. So who knows, right? Apple can have very, very strong earnings. And like I said, people tend to spend their money on stuff that they want, not on needs. Sure, there actually has been an increasing amount of people who need Apple products because Apple has been providing services and products that people need, essential products and services. So as they bring out more of those and roll out more services and products that are specific for businesses or for individuals, like students, for example, I think they're going to capture more and more revenue. And for the fact, if you guys didn't see my my Instagram story last night, they even increased the subscription plans, and I believe all subscription plans by $1, right? And that's going to change. That's going to bring out a lot more revenue, right, for Apple, because they have millions and millions of people on Apple Music. So, Apple is still doing really, really well, in my opinion. Take a look at the AirPod sales, right? Absolutely amazing. The AirPod sales are even bigger. Their entire sales of AirPods, right? The amount of money they made on AirPods is sometimes, or it has been observed to be bigger than valuations of certain companies. Think about that, right? The sales of their AirPods are bigger than some of the valuations of smaller tech companies. Think about that. Let that sink in, right? So one product allowed them to make that much, right? So, hey, Commander Spark, you just bought a new iPhone. Hey, I don't blame you. I've been thinking about getting the new iPhone 13. You know what I mean? So Apple is doing a really good job of retaining their consumers and still somehow providing themselves to have that consumer demand, even if we're seeing a regression of the economy, right, as everything pulls back and everything is at high prices. Does that make sense? Right? So that's the interesting thing that I have in mind for Apple, and what I think about this entire reversal that we've been seeing for the last 2.5 weeks, right? So like I said, Apple, I don't know what earnings will be, but I would expect it to be positive since the last 2.5 weeks has been such a great run so far, and Apple has been so strong, even with the entire markets, just flushing, right? I mean, not flushing, but it's been weak, right? And Apple has been making a greater breakout than SPY. Comments market bigger than Nvidia. Yeah, I you know what? Is that true? I think Apple AirPods have been. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I saw that somewhere. Apple AirPods sales had bigger numbers than Nvidia, or the valuation of Nvidia, or something like that, or at least the sales of whatever that Nvidia does, right? The numbers. By like 3.5 to 4 billion. Whew. See, that's what I'm saying. Apple has a grip on its consumers. So, you know what? Apple might even just turn into one of those low volatility, low beta, those low beta recession-proof stocks, to be honest. It's kind of crazy, right? But it makes sense. Apple has been a growth stock for the past more than a decade here, right? So it makes sense if Apple slowly starts turning into more of a value stock, more of a value company. And I also gave a great reason back on the previous live streams, right? Where, these long-term growth companies that have been absolutely going bonkers for the last almost 20 years, right? Or more than 20 years. If you guys take a look at the monthly chart here, right? It kind of makes sense that the company itself is also moving towards more valuable service than its products, right? And so it would make sense that they would transition from being a big growth company to a more of a valuable company, right? And the fact that they were able to capture a lot of consumers when they're growing, right? When they had an incredible exponential growth, we can see that turn and transition towards more of a value company, right? Yeah, everybody loves Apple, exactly, right? So it's amazing, even with the AirPods, right? They could have made an entire new company, right? Think about that, a new company just based on AirPods, and they would still be making sales today when AirPods first came out, right? Because of how many sales that they get. So crazy, right? And that's the reason why investors always look at the free cash flow, FCF, of Apple, right? Every single quarter. So it'll be interesting what they have, how much they increase their cash flow and the cash reserves that they actually have for this second quarter. So let's see. All right, let's see. Who knows? Apple truly might be just a recession-proof stock, right? I mean, no wonder Warren Buffett added more shares to Apple. To his original stake. All right, so anyone else have any more chart requests? Yeah, the AirPods, people are suckers. I mean, I even want the new ones, man. The AirPods Max or AirPods Pro. I still have the original ones. You have Sony Buds? Hey, good for you. I mean, whatever works for you, right? I sometimes think other wireless earbuds are sometimes better sound wise and sound quality wise compared to Apple. So maybe Sony Buds are better. Yeah, so anyone else have any chart requests? So that's it for Apple there. I forgot to give you guys levels. Oops. I've been talking so much about the macro factor analysis about Apple that I forgot to give you guys the actual micro stuff like technical analysis. So Apple here, I think Apple's down after hours, if I'm not mistaken as well. It would make sense that the overall tech sector has gone down with it as well. So yeah, it's down 0.18%. That's small. Okay, so Apple, we do have that previous level of resistance, if you remember, Commander, that 152 level, right? So we need to hold this 152 level, and we've been so far today as well. And if you come back down tomorrow again, okay, there's a higher probability of us breaking lower because, first of all, the overall markets are looking weak, right? But this 152 level, right, it could be turned into a new support. I mean, I'm not gonna say that it's not ever going to be a new support, but for the fact that we used this level multiple times in the past, right, like right here in this area, can give me more confidence, especially if Apple earnings if it's good, right? So that could potentially catapult the prices away from the 150s range and head back to the 160s range and remount and reclaim that 200 SMA on a daily time frame, right? So we just can't forget this death cross from the 50 and the 200. Okay. What's a good entry to buy, or good level to buy equity on Apple? I would say that opportunity passed, but I gotta do some of my fundamental analysis to kind of figure that out. But I would say just from a gut feeling and based on the technical chart here, probably around 130 to 140. I'll give you a nice range there, right? 130 to 140. That'll be a nice valuable range for Apple. Okay. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. I'll be more surefire on that range, on the price range, once you look at the fundamental metrics there. But yeah, that's it. Just watch out for earnings. You know, if earnings reactions are bad, that could also provide. Here, let me give you one more reminder. This right here could have been the top from last week, right? This could be the lower high compared to the other highs that we've seen, which would be this one, right? And why did I choose this one, not the other highs that we made here? Well, because this is our first. This could be our first high from a new uptrend, right? This is a nice reversal. We've been reversing for the past 2.5 weeks, and this high was made back in mid-March, right? And this was the bigger uptrend, right? This was also part of an uptrend where we made that top. So we're comparing these two trends to the upside, right? And we're comparing the highs, right? So potentially this can become the top. Last Friday could have been the top, right? So that's what I think for Apple. Okay. Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. Who knows? We might even get a big gap down on Apple, and that'll destroy the market, by the way. Because Apple has the most weight on the S&P 500, so. Okay. Any more chart requests? Hopefully the music hasn't been too loud. Hey, Andrew, you're still here? Oh, 10 likes. Thank you. Wow, we reached it, guys. CSWC. I've never heard that one. But I do go over thousands of stocks every single week, so hundreds and thousands of stocks. So, I did this for you all, guys. I did this for you all. Okay. Interesting one here. Capital Southwest. That sounds like a. Aha, that's what I thought. Yeah. Sounded like a financial name. Yeah. Oh, 0.63. That's not bad. The dividend payout. Ex-dividend payout. Nice. Yeah, Andrew, that's if you have a great average share price for that, for this one, that'd be great. But if you're only playing this just to get a dividend every single quarter, since I think it is a quarterly dividend rate here. Yep. Okay, so you shouldn't pay too much attention to this share price. I mean, if that's your only focus, right? You know, I would be. Oh, you got it in 2021. Nice. That's not bad at all. Yeah. So don't worry too much about the share price. Just keep on stacking up those shares, right? DCA into your original position, and collect those dividends. That's really good. So far though, since this is a financial name, I would say this one still has a little bit more downside left, to be honest. You know, it hasn't completely erased the 2021 gains yet, but I obviously I don't want that to happen. I'm just worried about that institutional outflow of money that's been going out of XLF, right? The entire financial sector. I think it was like over 2 billion or something like that, or 3 billion. So that's a little troubling there. I talked about that already, but yeah. So this one, great job. Keep on holding, man. This one looks great. Great long-term growth so far for the past 2 years, right? This is amazing. And even before COVID, wow, steady growth in share price as well. With dividends, ooh, that's just a cherry on top, right? Come on, you said you speak about XLE. Nope, not yet. So, you guys should know what I gave you guys about XLE about a month ago, maybe a little over a month ago now. Let's say just 2 months. um, but XLE, after breaking down out of this ascending channel here, we almost reached that 64 support level that I've been talking about, right? And this is still my long-term profit target to the downside. So obviously we bounced off of it. How do we know? We bounced at a support area, right? So how do we know this? On the daily time frame, the 200 SMA has been proven to be a very viable support for the price. And as we continue to bounce at the 200 SMA, and if you continue to stay above the 200 SMA, we can still make new highs, possibly, okay, even retesting this ascending support trend line. So maybe back to the 80s level, right? Because like I said, I've been saying this, I've been telling friends and family as well, that in the next few weeks, energy should continue to move to the upside. And we should see that sector rotation back into defensive stocks like energy. And I went deeply into the reason why, I'm also still long-term bearish on energy, but at the same time, I give you guys a short-term perspective on why I think there could be a good bounce as well. And I gave you guys multiple explanations last week as well on energy. But with XLE here, Sparky, I think we can see a breakout tomorrow at least. Potentially at least retest the 74.50 level, so this level right here, okay, and then reject again, right? If you reject again, then we can have a nice accumulation period for this week, and obviously this would be very, very ideal. But if we just straight up break above 74.50, then we are heading right back to that 77 level or around $78 level, right? But if you want to be more specific, actually, no, 77 is a good specific level. Never mind. I won't go further into that. But $77 whole number level will be a great area to take profits if you want to long XLE. And that will also potentially coincide with this daily 50 SMA, right? And guess what the daily 50 SMA is at? Right now, 77.98, right? So it's around $78. Okay, which is also the previous level of resistance that we broke out of back when we were in this ascending channel chart pattern. Okay, so Sparky, I think, hopefully we can see a nice big breakout on energy tomorrow, and it will make sense if you have a nice breakout in energy, because that means the markets will be going down, right? As the energy sector continues to stay strong, the markets will be doing the complete inverse price action and head down. Okay, so make sure you guys are filling your gas tanks this week, because we'll be seeing, especially crude oil, right? They should be back above, oops, I don't want Colgate. That's not what I want. Okay, they should be back above $100 per barrel by this week. Okay, so watch out. Oh, look at that. What do you know? CL, crude oil futures for overnight, we're already up 1.25%. Okay, like I said, I haven't been wrong about energy so far the past few months, so you guys might want to heed what I'm saying here. If you guys need gas, get it this week. Get it this week. We are actually going to retest that $100 per barrel for crude oil. Okay, you're swinging some oil calls for next week. Nice. Today was a great day to enter in, and hopefully, Commander Sparky, that's going to bring back your trading mojo. Hopefully those calls go well for you. If you need help, let me know. You know I'm always available to help. And that goes out to anyone. I'm willing to give you guys my time to help you guys out, so take advantage of that and DM me if you guys need help on your current positions or any type of positions that you're potentially looking at to execute on, okay? If you guys want to ask me questions now, then you guys can do it now as well. Hey, more people coming in. Awesome. Oh, 11 likes. Can we get to 20 likes? Probably not by tonight, but yeah. Commander Sparky, let me know. DM me in the Discord. Always DM me on Discord. You know I'm always on there 24/7, literally. Even my significant other knows that. She knows that. Okay, well, we are surpassing that 1 hour and 6 minute mark here. We'll be live maybe 10 more minutes, okay? But oh wow, we're just getting more people coming in right now. Jesus, it's 12 o'clock in the East Coast. Wait, it's almost 1 o'clock. Never mind. What are you guys doing? You guys should be asleep. Can we get that one more like for 12 likes, guys? Can we do it? Can we do it? Okay, since most of you guys don't have any more charts to look at, let me give you guys one play from the CFO Swing Watch. Okay, so General Mills. All right, hey, 12 likes. Okay, that did it. So General Mills is in the CFO Swing Watch this week. Okay, and if you guys are guessing or assuming that we want to play this to short it to the downside, you guys are right. Okay. Oh, that's right, bro. You're in Chicago, right? Right. So it's midnight now. That's right. Or it's almost midnight. No, it's over midnight. Never mind. Yeah. So General Mills. Here's what I'm looking at. Okay. So with Walmart's reaction to the downside, okay, I expect General Mills to do also a little bit bad, at least follow the trend. However, I do remember their most recent earnings, they actually raised their guidance, okay, which is the reason why we had a huge move to the upside, right? So I'm not going to forget that, obviously, but we are, in my opinion, okay, starting to be a little bit toppy here. The price action is getting a little bit toppy, right? We've been at a huge uptrend for the past 3 years, right? So General Mills, okay, I think the price action so far for the past year and a half has been pricing in that raised guidance as that we got in the most recent earnings and phenomenal revenue and earnings numbers. Okay, so I expect us to kind of start following the trend of other retail stores and other non-durables and durable companies, right? Since General Mills is mainly involved in food, right, in the food sector industry. So as prices continue to stay high, as fears of recession continues to grow, General Mills will have initially a bearish reaction as well. So I expect General Mills to, in the long term, continue to move to the downside as we've been seeing since the past 2.5 weeks, including this week so far, right? So technically, right, technical wise, we are seeing a very large broadening ascending channel, which is bearish. So I want to play and capture the move back to the downside and potentially retest of the weekly 50 SMA and on this weekly ascending support trend line on the macro ascending channel chart pattern. Does that make sense? All right. So and if you guys are wondering why I'm thinking that, well, we've already did this before, right? If you take a look at this area right here, and then another area right here, right? We have two areas to look at where we moved up higher, retested this ascending resistance trend line, rejected it, and absolutely flushed until we retested the ascending support trend line. And we repeated the same process again a second time right here. So who could say that it won't happen a third time, right? And we can potentially see that happening again. Okay, especially if this market this week tanks, right? So yeah, this is the play that we have for the CFO Swing Watch newsletter. And if you guys haven't joined yet, okay, join. For all my CFO Swing Watch members who are on here on the live right now, tell them, guys, let them know what they're missing out on. Literally, let them know. And guys, there is a 50% off discount code in the description box below this live stream video. Take a look at it. 50% off. right? So look at the description box, right? You guys will see the specific discount codes for each package, tier 3 and tier 4 packages, right? So use it because only 5 maximum people per discount code can use it. All right. So if you guys don't want to miss out more on some very exceptional plays like this one, okay, and obviously I wouldn't know if you're gonna get stopped out in this one, right? The price still hasn't hit my stop loss yet, but I'm still confident in my analysis because nothing has happened yet. It's not at the profit target yet. It's not at the stop loss yet, right? So I'm still swinging it, right? But yeah, guys, if you guys want to join by tonight. All right, we have a monumental week, and if you want to get updated, information from me for this entire important, significant week, make sure you guys join. Okay. All right, that concludes our live stream for tonight. I'll see you guys all tomorrow at the same time, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Have a great rest of your night, everyone, and good luck trading tomorrow. I'll hopefully see you guys in the CFO Discord.